Hey, so in this video I'm going to go over some of the lesser known interface features on the model, the Tesla Model 3, that I've learned over my few weeks of ownership that I wasn't able to find online. These are things that I was like, oh, okay, that would have been nice to have known. Small things, but in the grander scheme, when you're dealing with an interface like this, like a touchscreen that could be a little bit finicky, you know, swipes and gestures and things like that, you can use all the help you can get. So the less buried, if is a feature you're using frequently, if it's not buried in a menu, then that'll save you, you know, one chance of driving into a semi. So I'll jump into it real quick here. So again, these are some of the things that, and I'm talking about Easter eggs, I'm talking about usability features. So starting, this isn't really a feature, but just something to notice here. These icons are kind of broken into three separate chunks. The three on the right are all equally spaced, and there's a large gap. The four in the middle are kind of equally spaced, and then there's a large gap, so you got three here. You know, just kind of interesting to note for visually grouping when you're looking down for things. So first thing I noticed that you press and hold the car. This is kind of a Easter egg, but I'm not sure what it does. So it says, thanks for your feedback. So pressing and holding that sent something to Tesla. Not sure what. That's probably covered in some other video with the guy who knows what he's talking about. I'm just going to go over again these bottom icons. They all have, not all of them, but some of them have these secret features to them. So the music note can be used. So instead of, if you have the music window, you know, covering the whole screen, and you don't want to have to reach up here while you're driving with your hand floating around and try to, like, you know, bring it down and then it bounces back up, you can actually grab onto, well, you can minimize by tapping the music note. You probably already know that, but you can also adjust the height by swiping the music note. So that might be handy. Anytime I can have my hands actually holding onto the screen, so that's, you know, again, where these buttons come in. If you get my hand on the back side of it, you get a better feel for where you're pressing. Anytime I have to be up here, you know, touching, you know, I'm going to want to rest my finger up here, and it's obscuring what I'm seeing, and I don't know. Separate conversation, but yeah, so that's one thing you can do here with the music note. And this little sub menu here, you know, you can pop up and get your six additional kind of hidden options. So you have the camera up, and you hide it. So let's say hide it by Xing. To bring the camera back up immediately, all you have to do is swipe the menu now. So whatever your most recent item from that menu was, let's say it was calls, it'll come back up with the swipe and go away with the swipe. So that's kind of interesting. Heated seats, nothing special there on either side. But climate control, there's two things here. So the first thing is, I've got the climate control on right now and I want to shut it off. Previously I thought you had to tap the fan, you had to go up here and hit the power button, which is kind of annoying. But no, you can actually shut the climate control off by just pressing and holding the fan. You get that ripple animation and then it shuts off. Now turn it back on, obviously you can just adjust the temperature, click the temperature, and then use the arrows to adjust it to your liking, or you can click and drag this guy. Neither of those is ideal. But what I didn't know you could do is actually grab the temperature and slide it right on here. That's a much more user-friendly gesture, I think. So I'm gonna go ahead and shut that off. Nothing in the defrosters. Volume, cool thing is that it acts the same way as the temperature does. So you can just hold it and swipe it.
The absolute brightness.
I find that to be much more convenient.
Third Avenue Playhouse.
For the passenger, obviously, if you're driving, you're probably using the controls on the steering wheel. So that's worth knowing about. So not a big deal, but interesting to note. So if you're in the audio settings, and you're adjusting the EQ here, let's say you've got it all flanked up, and you know somebody was messing with it and you just want to flatten it out. All you have to do is tap towards the middle. You don't have to sit here and try to, like, I gotta get it in the middle. You know, you can just tap on the opposite side of where they are. If it was down here, you tap up here, same thing. But if you tap up here again, it's going to jump to that position wherever your finger is. So it's also a convenient way of, like, just setting it real quick. I want this here, this here, this here, this here, you know, like that. But just tap below to flatten them out. So that's kind of handy. Next thing is that in this trip menu here, so on the left hand side, you swipe over, you got your trip menu here. And I thought that was all the information there was to be seen, but there's more. You can swipe. A nice long gesture. Short gestures, I kind of have trouble getting it to engage. So I kind of make sure you're doing, like, nice long swipes to get to the different menus there, different window info panes. Another cool thing to note is that on the so you already know you can press the open button and the open button for the trunk and the frunk, but you can actually just push on the trunk itself and on the frunk itself. You get the same results. Just a little more handy because I remember myself trying to like get my finger right on the open button. Like if you're reaching in with the door open from the outside trying to open the frunk, just touch the actual frunk and it'll pop open. Here's something worth noting too. So let's say you have the driving, or you have one of these menus up. You have the car menu or the AC menu or whatever. If you just tap anywhere outside of it, I just tap on the car itself. So let's say you have this menu open. Instead of having to reach up here and press the X or remember to press the car, just tap the car and it'll go away and you'll be back to your nav screen. That can be kind of handy. However, that doesn't really work with the music. If you got the music thing open, tapping here doesn't do anything. You still gotta, get out of it that way. On the nav menu here, if you swipe on this to the left or down, you'll see it says work, and it'll just immediately navigate you to work. Not sure why work is the only option. Maybe there's a way to change that, make it actually just navigate me home. That would be nice, but even if you do left or you do down, it just does it to work. Up and to the left does nothing. A triple tap of the T up here will bring up the Atari simulator or emulator. That's nice and handy if you really use that a lot when you're charging. Press and hold of the T. This is kind of an Easter egg. Not really. Obviously, it's more of a diagnostic service thing. If you press and hold the T, it'll ask you to enter an access code. I'm told that this is for mobile text to be able to adjust some of the finer settings. But interestingly, if you type in Mars, it will bring up the Mars map. So there's probably other hidden codes there that you can type in and it'll do other fun stuff, but I don't know what they are. Let's see. And the last thing that I've got that's you probably already know about, but it took me a second to figure this out the other day. I was like, wait, what if I'm in the car and I want to, and a monster is approaching who has hands and knows how to open a Model 3 door handle. How do I lock the doors? There's no lock switches on the sides of the car. And this is just an indicator telling me whether it's unlocked or locked. Nope. That is the actual lock button. So whatever, it's tiny. At least you have something. But that's it for now. There's probably other stuff too. I'd love to know if you guys know of anything else that's like, oh, if you press and hold this, it brings up this. It's so much easier. I need to know these things. Like, I wonder if there's one for, let's see. So the wipers, they need to do something here where the wipers are easier to set. Oh, what's this? Front trunk unlatched. Please close the front trunk before using wipers. Interesting. Okay, wipers off. Interesting. That about concludes it. I try to keep that as brief as possible. Sorry if it became a little verbose, but it's just how I am. That's what you get. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.